Hi, I'm Samantha Neely, and today we are going to be demonstrating 3 of the exercises in my client Lacey's exercise program that I created for her. The first exercise that I'm going to demonstrate is the side lying leg raise. This exercise is great for working the hip flexors and the abductor muscles. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay on the ground on one side. We're going to make sure that the entire side of the body is touching the ground, mostly from hips to feet, and we're going to lay in a straight line. So all the way from head to hips to ankles should be in one straight line. Elbow is under the shoulder, supporting the body upright like this, and this other hand can just rest on the hip. A lot of the times people want to go like this, and that just turns this exercise into an arm exercise as well, the arm helping out with stability and everything. So we want to really focus on engaging the core and not using our arm to do so. So we could just put our arm on the side here. With that, we are going to dorsiflex our ankle, and we are going to raise our hip to a 40, or our leg to a 45-degree angle, as so. Once we get to the top, maybe a 1-second hold, and then return back down. Now it's really important that we keep our body in a straight line the entire time. A common weakness is that we want to either rotate our hips back or rotate our hips forward or even hinge at the hips to compensate for any weaknesses. Alright? Okay. Alright, so first off, we are starting with just body weight, no resistance at all. I'm going to have her perform 2 reps of the exercise from a frontal view and then 2 reps from a lateral view. So you can go ahead and begin. As you can see, she's starting out with her body completely in line, her hand on her hip, and her elbow under her shoulder. Her form looks great right now, and we're just making sure that we're really engaging that core and squeezing that glute so that we can maintain that straight body alignment. So make sure you're dorsiflexing your ankle, and please perform 2 reps for me. Nice, slow and controlled movement. So now you can turn to the lateral view and go ahead and just perform 2 more reps for me. But make sure your hips are in a line, perfect. Dorsiflexing that ankle, 2 more reps. Good. Now I'm going to have you perform 1 more for me. Make sure your leg is completely straight, and then this leg is on top of your bottom leg. It's tending to lean back. There you go. Alright, try 1 more rep. Good job. Alright. Now I'm going to have her perform the same exercise, but now we have a pretty heavy resistance band on the distal end of her femur right above her knee. That is just going to provide an extra amount of resistance and expose any sort of weaknesses that she has during the exercise. So you're going to do the same thing, perform the exercise to about a 45-degree angle, and then you can go ahead and come back down. Make sure it's a slow and controlled movement whenever you're ready. Nice job. 1 more for me. Good. Now I'm going to have you do 1 more rep with a lateral view, so can you go ahead and turn? Make sure that body's in full alignment. You're not using your arm. Yep, perfect. All right, just rotate those hips slightly forward. I know it's challenging, sorry. Squeeze that core, that'll help you, and squeeze the glutes. All right, go ahead. Nice job. Perfect. You can return to a normal position. The next exercise we're going to do is the goblet squat. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you first. I'm just going to do it without any sort of weight. What we're going to do with the goblet squat is we're going to have our knees and our feet facing forward. A lot of the time people want to put their feet either inward, which is bad form, or outward, which isn't necessarily bad, but that's just getting into a different type of squat. So we're going to have our feet forward. We're going to have our hands in the center, And we're going to have our elbows locked in tight. We don't want to have our elbows all the way out here, locked in tight, because we are going to be holding a dumbbell at some point. And we are going to squat all the way down as far as we can go, keeping that chest up. If we had a logo on our t-shirt, we want people in front of us to be able to see it. And going back up. Now when you do the squat, you want to keep your knees going out and your heels down. So if we get to the bottom and our heels are coming up off the ground, then that maybe means that that is not the end range. We are going past our end range of good movement. And that is something that we can work on in the range of motion, but for right now, we want to go only as much as our heels allow us to, keeping that chest up. All right? Any questions? All right. All right. You can go ahead and perform the goblet squat with no resistance right now. All right. Now, before she does the second one, it is very obvious that she is not even getting to 90 degrees when she's doing this goblet squat, which of course is a goal that we have, something that we can work on in her range of motion, doing some flexibility exercises and stretches, incorporating that into her program. But for right now, as she cannot get to 90 degrees without lifting her heels off the ground, without bending completely over at her chest and her hips. So we're going to have her go as low as she can go while keeping proper form, and then as the weeks progress, we can hopefully get a little bit more range of motion out of her hips and her knees. All right, so go ahead and do one more. Keep that chest high. Good. And up. I'm going to have you do one more. Make sure your feet are facing forward. They're tilting a little out right now. All right, one more. Good job. And up. And now can you do a lateral view for the camera? So once again, you want to sit that butt back, chest up, and go ahead. Good. Now we're going to add some resistance. So once again, since she isn't able to perform the exercise to its full capacity, I don't want to give her too much weight. So I'm going to be giving her an 8-pound dumbbell to start out with. This 8-pound dumbbell will definitely be challenging for her. So I'm going to have you hold it so that your palms are resting on the bottom side of the dumbbell and your elbows are still locked in tight. Nice. So you're going to keep a straight, tall chest. You're going to sit your butt back, feet forward. Whatever you do, keep that chest tall. Go ahead. Nice. Make sure you're really squeezing that glute, those glute muscles when you're doing it. Good job. All right, can you go ahead and turn to the side for me? All right, go ahead. Good. All right, you can go ahead and stop. Return to normal. This is an exercise that's a work in progress. I'm excited to see where we can go in the upcoming weeks. All right. The last of the exercises is going to be a simple deadlift with a dumbbell, but to begin with, we'll use a dowel for the proper form. Lacey has never done a deadlift before, so we're still in the teaching phase of making sure that she has the proper form before adding a bunch of weight. So I'm going to demonstrate for you. You're going to grab the bar. We're going to picture that this is actually like a lifting bar, but we're just using a dowel. You're going to grab the bar about shoulder width apart. There's a couple different grips that you could use for deadlift. You could just do the standard grip like this. Some people do an alternating grip, but we're just going to do a normal grip with both my palms facing me, since we're not lifting a whole lot of weight here and that shouldn't be an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand with my feet shoulder width apart. Now, when this will have weight on it, it will rest about 6 inches off the ground. And we want to rest it just above our midfoot. When we're bending over, I want my shoulder blades to be over the bar. When I am bending down for the bar, it's important to keep our hips considerably high, but not too high like this. We're also not doing a squat, so we don't want to squat all the way down. Somewhere nice in the middle. It's also important to keep a neutral spine, so we want to keep our neck and our whole lumbar spine straight. A common mistake is a rounded lumbar spine or a rounded neck or a hyperextended neck. What I am going to advise you to do is pretend that you have a tennis ball right in between your chin and your throat, and that will help you keep a neutral cervical spine and hopefully a neutral lumbar spine as well. We want to just squeeze everything when we're doing the deadlift. So we're going to reach for the bar down here. And as we pull up on the bar, we want the bar to travel in a straight line. Our arms are just hanging because this is not an arm exercise. We don't want to use our arms in any way by flexing our traps or anything like that. So once I'm in position to hold it, I'm going to tighten everything, including my lats, my core, and I'm going to pull up. At the top, there's going to be a hip thrust. Another common mistake is overextending like this. Once we are at the top and our hips have touched the pole, that is the end point of the exercise. So there's no need to hyperextend and put that extra pressure on the lower back. All right. Once you're at the top phase, you're going to put the bar back down in a straight line. A common mistake is when you're coming up, you're going to want to make the bar kind of come away from you a little bit. We want to keep that bar in a straight line as close to the body as possible. We're here, neutral spine, tightening up, and up, and back down. All right, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, we are starting with the very, very low resistance deadlift. So what I'm going to have you do is get into position, acting as if you're going to pull the bar off of the ground. Good. Now make sure you remember that tennis ball cue. So as if you had a tennis ball in between your chin and your neck. Perfect. She has a nice neutral spine right now, which is great. And make sure that bar is close to your body, a little closer. Now with your stance, do you remember how far apart your feet needed to be? Good. So shoulder width apart on the feet, keeping that chest up. Once again, kind of like the goblet squat, you want your chest to be showing. If you had a logo, you want the person in front of you to be able to see. So go ahead and get that chest up. Good. And then hip thrust at the top. Perfect. Squeeze and then back down. Keeping that bar in a nice line. Good. Go ahead and do one more for me. Awesome. Back down. All right, now I'm going to have you turn to the side, do a lateral view. So start with the bar at the bottom. Good. Keep that neutral spine, neutral neck. It's a little hyperextended. You can have pretend that there's a tennis ball right there. And remember to breathe. So another common thing is that the client wants to hold their breath. Now you're starting to arch your back because you are feeling tired, which is okay, and I'll have you do this rep so that you can rest. But make sure that that back is straight. All right, perfect. Now do that pull, hip thrust at the top. Good, and back down. All right, you can go ahead and relax. Nice job. Now, we are going to have you do it with dumbbells. Now, both of these dumbbells are 8 pounds apiece, so it's going to be 16 pounds total. I'm going to have her hold it exactly like I would be having her hold a bar, and she's going to be performing the same movement. All right, we're just going to have you go 1 rep per view. Okay, so make sure you have that grip just as you are with the bar. You can start at the bottom face. Perfect, and go ahead and just do 1 repetition for me, keeping that chest up. Good. Nice. Okay, now from a lateral view. And go ahead. Hip thrust at the top, really squeeze those glutes. Good job. Nice. You can go ahead and put the dumbbells down. Now with this exercise, it's not a whole lot of weight that we're using right now, but I think it's really important to focus on the fundamentals, and I think you did a really, really good job for this being your very first time. So we can continue to work on that. But besides that, those are the 3 exercises that we chose to demonstrate, and we will keep on working on it. All right? Good job.